What's going on out there today, guys? It is Brent Abel, Abel Jr. here, webtennis.com. Another episode of 7 Around 7. Hope you're having a spectacular start to your day. If you're catching the live version or whatever part of the day, if you're watching the replay. Anyway, here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, beautiful morning. Breaking here for us and looking forward to getting back on the tennis court today. It's been, I took off 4 days. I was kind of beat up after, I started going back over the numbers that I gave you guys a few days ago. And it was actually, it was 14 matches in 9 days. But prior to that was 4 really good workouts at the Berkeley Tennis Club back there where I went for my oldest daughter's wedding celebration. So, over the course of 2 weeks, just pounding. And man, I was hurting for certain until actually this morning got up and felt pretty good. So looking forward to getting back out on the court today and kind of getting it going after 4 days of nothing. Hey, listen, first of all, apologies for missing yesterday's 7 Around 7. Had some car repair work I had to get done, and I had to do a little traveling to get it done. So I was kind of out of commission for the day. And I just don't feel comfortable sometimes when I'm sitting in a public area and, not want to disturb anyone else with yakking about tennis, which they probably don't. It's probably just you guys that care about it, right? So anyway, that's my excuse for yesterday. And today what I want to talk about is doubles being a game of workarounds. And a workaround is simply, it's more of a tech term where you can't quite figure out how to get something done, code-wise or tech-wise. And Martha Minton, what are you doing on here, girl? Good to see you. So, a workaround tech-wise is you're trying to figure out some code or something, can't quite do it. And, there's always a way to get it figured out. And the same thing applies, both singles and doubles. And I want to give you an example of the finals doubles match that Tony Dawson and I played recently in Nashville in the National City Open. So we're in the finals, and we're in the third game. My partner Tony is serving, and Tony's coming off a full shoulder replacement, right, from quite a while ago, and he's really been a trooper working through it. The groundies, the volleys, the return to serve, all that stuff is, senior world-class stuff. But the serve has been a challenge just because trying to reach up with that shoulder replacement has been tough for him. And so, his serve speed is down, let's call it 50%. I don't know what the number is. But in reality, that's okay because he's so good with his transitional volley or his transitional half volley or his transitional let the ball, stop early, let the ball bounce up and play an approach shot, right? So we're playing the finals and we're into the third game and Tony's serving and I'm trying to do my normal thing, right? Which is to try to fake poach a lot, try to distract the returner, obviously within the rules. But just some fake poaching and then once in a while poaching. But I keep thinking, I got the great Tony Dawson coming in. Why would I risk too often crossing when I know he's gonna play a high quality volley, first volley or half volley. And so what's happening though is that Tony's asked me in the prior 2 matches, I want you to play a little bit closer to the net. And I'm going fine. Okay. So I'm doing what we've kind of been doing in the first couple of matches, and yet we're getting lobbed, and specifically out of the deuce court with Dave Severson, who, he's sort of nullifying my fake poach. He's nullifying Tony's unbelievably great first volley and all that stuff with his lob. And, he's lobbing effectively because Tony is not hitting big serves because of that shoulder replacement thing. So he's pretty darn accurate. And as soon as he lobs over me, I'm switching. Tony's having to scramble and go back. And so this third game of that doubles final, if it didn't go at least 14 or 15 deuces, maybe one less. I mean, it was just one of those unbelievable games that, once in a great while you kind of go through. And we ended up sort of winning the ad point every time those guys would have a break point. And then we go back to deuce, and here it is. I'm trying to fake and do stuff, and Dave's lobbing. And so finally Tony says, you know what? This time, just start on the service line. Don't be up at net. Don't be uptight on the net, or don't even be in the middle of the service box. Just start right there on the service line. And so what the heck? Let's try something different, because whatever we've been doing before was not working off of Dave. So really what it did is in that alignment, it showed Dave that, well, if you're going to lob, now you're going to risk an overhead. You're going to risk my overhead. Or you've got to really make it perfect, right? And so his first instinct was, well, that's not available. And so what did he do? He played the ball back cross court to Tony, which is what we wanted, which is what we want, right? And as soon as I see Dave's shot, his return going back cross court, I'm moving in. I'm not staying on the service line, because I know whatever Tony's going to do with that transitional volley, that transitional shot, is not going to be an opportunity for them. Nothing's going to hit a winner, but if he's now going to lob, it's going to be much tougher than off of that serve. And so we eventually held, right? We eventually held that third game. I swear to you, it must have been 14 or 15 deuces. It was crazy, but that was a big deal. And then every time we served for the rest of the match, at least every time Tony served for the rest of the match to Dave, I just started back in the service line. And really what that did was, number one, it took away the lob, and we got what we wanted out of the return, which was a ball to go back cross court to Tony. And that made it a lot easier for a guy with a shoulder replacement who's serving maybe half speed for us to be able to hold serve, right? So there's a very typical workaround situation right there, where what you want is you've got a partner, or maybe it's you, that really volleys well, or plays that transitional volley, half volley approach really well, and you want the return to go there, right? And so to defeat the lob, that's one way to do it. Just start in the service line, and make sure, though, you cannot camp out there for the rest of the point, especially if you get what you want, where the returner is now going back to your partner, right, with their return. And as soon as I would see that, I would just scoot in, and from there it was like standard doubles, and that's really what we wanted. So hope that makes sense, guys. Would love to hear from you down below. Maybe there's a certain situation that you're having in doubles right now that you're struggling with. It could be against a specific kind of opponent or a specific player, or something that's going on that you cannot quite figure out, whether it's shot choice or whether it's core positioning, right? The two hallmarks of what's the right shot instructional series. Let me know down below in the comments area, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, if you want to keep it private. Guys, if you love 7 around 7, webtennis.com, there's a great way to show your love and support. Down below in the description area is a link that will take you over to webtennisgear.com. Go on over there, pick up a t-shirt or two or more, or a water bottle. And as a way of me saying thanks, I'm going to give you one of my $97 stroke technique courses. You can choose. It's one of 7 courses, your choice. And that'll be my way of saying thanks. So guys, that's it for me today. As always, time for all of us to get out there, help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I'll see you again next time.